Hey guys, welcome to DallasCowboys.com. The Cowboys lose a tough one to Washington Sunday, 20-17, and yeah, I've got the whole crew here: Rob Phillips, David Hellman, Mickey Spagnuolo. I'm Nick Eatman, and let's just get right to it. They had a chance to win this game. It was not pretty at all. They had a chance to win. Mick, I'll start with you. You've looked at the snap infraction several times. Thoughts?
Sometimes I think these guys make things up. Like they think they see something and they didn't really see it. I've looked at it, and I never saw LP move the ball off the ground. He didn't fake a snap. And what happened was when he put his left hand on the ball to snap it, meaning his second hand, as soon as he put the hand there, the Redskins jumped. And they were anticipating the snap. So I just think the 5 yards went the wrong way. And as I was saying earlier, it's a 10-yard penalty. The 5 yards they didn't get, and the 5 yards they lost. So that's 10 yards. It should have been a 42-yard field goal.
Dave, we'll stay with that play or that whole drive right there. What were your kind of thoughts about kind of the Cowboys were moving it there? You didn't really love how they didn't get a lot of yards there?
No, I hated it.
Okay.
And that's
being nice.
I hate it for Brett Maher and LP Ladouceur that they're going to be, the guys that we're talking about, because I don't put this on them. I look at a Dallas Cowboys offense that was moving the ball for the first time consistently, one of the first times all day, certainly one of the first times in the second half. They're on the Washington 46-yard line with 52 seconds to play in a timeout. I just thought it got awfully conservative. I thought they looked like a team that wanted to kick a field goal and go to overtime. Thought they had plenty of time to at least try to win the game. Obviously, hindsight's 20/20. Who knows what happens? But they looked awfully content with settling for, even without the penalty, a 47-yard field goal, which that's the distance that Brett Maher missed from in Week 1. So why do you feel, so comfortable allowing it to get to that? I thought it was way too conservative. I thought this team should have been trying to steal a win in regulation rather than get to overtime in the first place.
You could go that route. You could also say Dak lost a fumble. They had a couple turnovers because your pressure was an issue.
Yeah,
you can second guess a lot of different things,
you can.
and I think that might have been a factor, Nick, in that they saw some of the pressure that their quarterback was under, and they didn't want to have any minus plays or potentially another turnover that could have pushed them out of field goal range. I'm just your devil's advocate tonight.
Yeah, that's
Dave
fine.
Dave told me Saturday night field goals were good.
Field goals are good, but you don't have to just give up and settle for one immediately once you cross midfield, especially – sorry, no, I don't want to cut you off, but they played poorly all day. They had a chance to sneak out of that building.
So what makes you think that all of a sudden they were going to play great with 12 seconds to go?
No, I'm not talking about 12, Mick. I'm talking about 52. And the thing that gave me confidence is that they had moved the ball from when they started, completing passes to Cole Beasley. I think, even it was 2nd and 1, probably 30 seconds. I got to go back and look at the exact timestamp, but they could have spiked the ball. They could have done a number of things to try to extend that possession.
I'm with you guys. We were on the field, and Derek Eagleton said they were at the 37-yard line. He said, about how many more yards do they need? And I said 37. They need to, let's get out of here. Maybe I just didn't want to go do another overtime again. But, okay, I'm on board now. I said it. If one more loss, then I'm like, they have a road problem. I wasn't buying it.
Yeah.
I'm buying it now. This offense what do they not block well on the road? What's the problem here?
Offensive line did not play well. They were beaten by their defensive front.
They were.
Their defensive front made more plays than the Cowboys' defensive front. We said going into the game this was going to be a defensive struggle. I said you're going to have to get to 20 points, 23 points to win this game, and they didn't quite get there. And the reason they didn't get there, they couldn't run the football well enough to keep the Washington defense honest.
Yeah, no, I mean, 4 flags on the offensive line, 3 holdings and a chop block, killed drives, pushed things back, pushed Dak back into his own end zone where he gives up a costly sack fumble for a touchdown. Uncharacteristic by him, it felt like, not taking care of the ball, or maybe he just didn't get the bounces he needed, but it killed him.
Rob, I said this earlier about Dak. We'll talk a little bit more about him. It reminded me of the Zeke game in Seattle where he had great yards, great stats, 2 really bad plays, though, that hurt the team. Dak was sort of the same way. Stats looked pretty good. A couple of big fumbles, though.
Yeah, and there was a time early in the game we weren't sure if he was going to come back into the game, honestly. I mean, took a monster hit, and that's the byproduct of having a quarterback that runs the ball and is willing to stick his head in there.
That's true.
Took a shot to the helmet and was able to come back in. He said he did get checked for a concussion. Yeah. Obviously was okay there, got his hand checked out too. I love the way he fought in this game, the way that he tried to bring him back late. And like Mickey said, all of a sudden there's some cleaner pockets those last couple drives, and he was able to make some things happen. And like Dave said, you can harp on what happened with Ladouceur and Maher at the end, but like Cole Beasley said, it's really what they didn't do early is what cost them. Once again, you got 10 points late into the fourth quarter. It's just not enough on the road, and your defense is playing so well. Giving up 17 points on the road ought to be enough.
Actually, they gave up 13 points on the road.
Yeah.
Because the other 7, and, the genesis for that walk-in touchdown by the Redskins was the holding call on Connor Williams.
That's right. You're right.
Because they had a first down, and they would have been, around the 40-yard line, and they end up at the 10-yard line.
I'll tell you another play, too, that I hated up in the press box, too. 2nd and 4. Zeke just got 6 yards. Might have been the best run he had all day. And then instead of sticking with it and trying to get that first down, they went up to Rico, double covered, and I thought that kind of really set them back, too. It's like, they have a chance to kind of get some yards. It just wasn't working. Zach Martin, I think, said it best. He was like, the field goal, we didn't lose this game with field goal. We lost this game because we got our butts kicked the first 3 quarters of the game.
Yes.
I mean, and, this doesn't make anybody feel any better, but it looked pretty similar to what we've seen. I mean, protection issues, penalties that back you up, receivers not catching balls. I mean, you saw some of that. The receivers were better today. Hearns, Gallup, and Cole Beasley all had nice days, but there were still some plays left out on the field in the
Some
passing
contested
game.
throws that
contested
you
balls,
think they could be made.
They do not
Yes.
get caught by this receiving core right now.
You know what's
They just
fun
don't.
is that we get to talk about this for 2 weeks now.
Oh, got the bye.
And probably hear a bunch of complaints for 2 weeks, too.
No, certainly not.
Yeah, it's
Certainly
funny how
not.
things would be different there. All right, so really quick, we're going to just kind of go down the line. Okay, Cowboys going into a bye week now. Rob, what do you think's the one thing that I say one, but you give me one thing that you think that they really got to fix this thing quickly?
Well, they're playing home at next time. So you're
let's
thinking
just
is
chalk it up. They're 4-4.
Everything's going to be fixed at home. They've got to find a correlation. Like you said, it is a trend. The difference on the road at home. It's a young team. It's a different offensive line. I think it starts up there. They've got to figure that out past the next game at home against Tennessee, because we have seen 2 different football teams through the first 7 games of the season.
Yeah, this is bad. They're below 500. I think I said in the week that, this is a game that a good team should win. If you can't win it, you're probably not that good. But I feel all right about where they are because they get to go home and play a pretty mediocre Titans team.
True.
So, I think I'm going to steal a line from you, but this is what it feels like when you kind of trade wins and losses on the way to 8-8. I mean, I don't want to say that, but what else?
What
other impression can you have right now?
The roller coaster keeps rolling,
Absolutely.
right? Win one, lose one, win one, lose one, win one, lose one. I mean, it just keeps going, and now they're supposed to win one, and then after that, it's Philadelphia on the road?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, and
Couple
so
road games in a
Both
row.
on the road.
yeah, there's like 8 road games.
This is the one that you needed to
There's
fix
4
it.
more. There's 4 more.
Yeah, this is the one you needed to fix that game. Well, it didn't happen. We'll see if the Cowboys can bounce back from it. All right, for Rob Phillips, David Hellman, Mickey Spagnola, I'm Nick Eatman. We'll see you next time on DallasCowboys.com.